Hello and welcome to Spinners and Winners. I'm Jonathan Karl, coming to you from Capitol Hill, where I just spoke to Senator Rand Paul, who says he has some ideas about how to make the Republican Party competitive again, even in places like California and among young people. So Senator Paul, here we are, you're back, election. Does the president have a mandate?
I thought we weren't going to talk about that election thing.
Yeah.
It's not a mandate. I mean, he wins by a couple of points. And really, some of it I think we haven't really completely finished the discussion on. For example, are rich people paying their fair share? Well, they're paying about half of their income. What's enough?
Do you think that Republicans here are ultimately going to have to cave to the president on higher taxes?
If that's our message, we'll get smaller and smaller as a party. Our message should be, as it always has been, we want to grow the economy, we want more jobs, and the way you get more revenue up here is by more economic growth.
So what do you do about the fiscal cliff, as we're calling it? I mean, all these tax cuts expire on January 1st, so what do you do?
There needs to be a compromise, but the media have defined it to be only one compromise. Republicans must accept raising taxes. How about another compromise? Republicans who think military spending, myself, think national defense is important, should compromise and say, you know what? Not every dollar spent on the military is sacred. We can reduce the military spending. That's a compromise. Democrats should compromise also. Entitlements and welfare, the spending can come down.
So you're not going to support anything that raises taxes, period?
I think it's a mistake to raise taxes. I won't vote to raise taxes.
Period. None.
Yeah, I'm not going to raise taxes.
Okay, let's look at the bigger picture here. The Republican Party, Romney loses all the battleground states, lose all those Senate races, lose seats in the House. What does the party do?
In national races, we are not competitive on the West Coast. We're not competitive in New England, and apparently we weren't very competitive around the Great Lakes. Huge areas of the country we're not competitive. I think we have to have a different message. I think, for example, we should tell young people, I'm not in favor of you smoking pot, but if you get caught smoking pot, I don't want to put you in jail for 20 years. I think that's a mistake. And I think that's a wrong image to send to young people, to put people in jail for 20 years for a nonviolent possession.
Colorado wants to legalize pot. Washington State wants to legalize pot. They should be allowed to. Yeah. We should have
states should be allowed to. I'm not promoting it, but states should be allowed to make a lot of these decisions. I want things to be decided more at a local basis with more compassion. I think it would make us as Republicans different.
What about gay marriage, abortion? These were two other issues that really seemed to get the Republicans tangled up in knots this last election.
I think some of those can be decided more at the state level.
When will the people start shouting, enough is enough, and demand Congress to cease and desist?
Your father's now given his last speech as a member of the House. He's run his last presidential campaign. He's a guy that stood up for principle at all times. He's not a compromise guy, right?
You could probably say that.
Yes. Yeah. But as a result, didn't necessarily have a huge impact on the Republican Party in the direction it took.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, well, I mean, in terms of, he wasn't a guy in leadership meetings. He wasn't a guy steering what they were doing.
There are different ways to influence things, though, and I think where his influence is that he's grown the party in a tremendous way. Mm-hmm. A lot of young people came into the Republican Party. A lot of independents, libertarians, constitutionalists came into the party because of him. There's a sea change on the Republican side, and I think my dad's responsible for some of that.
All right, so last question, though. 2016, is there going to be another Paul for President campaign?
That's classified. I can't tell you that. You don't have clearance to hear that. I want to be part of the national debate. I think it's a little too soon to talk about who's going to run and who's not going to run. And to tell you the truth, I don't know what will come. Am I interested in thinking about that? Yes.
Am I ready? Thinking about running for president?
Yeah, but am I someone who's going to make the decision? Am I ready to make the decision now? No.
But there's a real chance we see a Rand Paul for president carrying that mantle of libertarian conservatism. We'll
see what happens. Too early to tell.
Usually when people say that, it's almost a declaration of candidacy. We'll keep following it.
Well, I am different than something that I'm not going to deny that I'm interested. I'm not going to deny that I think we have to go a different direction because we're not winning. We're just not winning, and we have to think about some different ideas, and we have to think about appealing to different people. We're getting an ever-dwindling percentage of the Hispanic vote. We need to let people know, Hispanics in particular, we're not putting you on a bus and shipping you home. I'm still right there with a lot of the hardcore immigration people who want border security. I will insist that border security is first, but I'm also not going to rule out that we can't figure out an eventual way, if you've been living here for 10 or 20 years, that you can't become like the rest of us.
Well, Senator Paul, I know you've got to run to another meeting, but thank you for taking a stroll around the Russell office building here in the Capitol.
All right.
And keep us posted on that
All right.
2016 thing, all right?
All right, thanks.
Thank you for watching Spinners and Winners for ABC News and Yahoo News. I'm Jonathan Karl. You can follow me all week long on Twitter, @JohnKarl, or on Facebook. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.